I want to pivot a little bit and talk about establishing healthy boundaries with families, with friends, with colleagues. Can you share an example of how you set a healthy boundary that has worked for you?
What has really helped me in the latter years of my life is learning how to say no. That's a very healthy boundary for me. And as I told you before, as I was growing up, I was really timid. And I didn't come out of that until I got older. And especially when I got to college, when I figured, nobody cares, you better straighten up, girl, and look out for yourself. So that's when I really learned. But you have to set boundaries for yourself. And young people, especially my young girls in here, you'll be put in all kinds of cases, all kinds of situations where you have some of your classmates who you know are not doing the right thing, that's unethical. You have to be strong to stand away from that and say, my mother was not like this, I was not like this, I was not raised this way. But saying no is really hard for young people and for adults. But it's a healthy way. And once you do it, you'll say, oh, I'm so glad I did it. It's like a weight that has been taken off of you. So learning how to say no, that's a very healthy boundary.
Amen.
I love talking about boundaries. It's something that I work a lot with clients on as well. And the reason why I love talking about boundaries is because I can relate. I always say I'm a recovering people pleaser. In my childhood years, teenage years, certainly all of my 20s, I was a very big people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me. I would bend over backwards and do things for people that I truly just didn't have the capacity to do. And it ends up burning you out. It ends up getting to a point where you don't have much to offer to others because you're constantly saying yes. So I've done a lot of work personally to set boundaries with family, to set boundaries with friends. And it's still hard because I do love helping people. And setting a boundary doesn't mean that you can't help. It just means that you check in with yourself first to ask, do I have the capacity to help? It's saying that I kind of like that goes along with boundary setting is that you can't pour from an empty cup. So as long as as much as we love to pour into other people, it's important to make sure our cup is full so that we even have the ability to pour into others. So a lot of the boundaries that I've set with family and friends look like checking with myself, asking myself if I have the capacity, not feeling guilty if I have to say no or turn down certain events, and kind of going back to body image, setting certain boundaries with my family about the way that they talk about diet culture and body image and things like that. And even thinking to the future about setting boundaries on behalf of my daughter and having conversations in advance with my family about hey, the way that we talk about weight and food and diets, I don't want that around her. So just already thinking ahead and preparing for the type of way I would like to raise her and set her up. And it's hard. It's really hard to have difficult conversations like that with family and with friends. But boundaries is what strengthens relationships. I think one misconception about boundaries is that it creates a wall. But the truth is, when you're able to communicate your boundaries and the other person respects it, it brings you closer together. You have a better connection, a better understanding of one another.
And you're setting the stage and you're setting the environment early. So, yeah, very good.